Question: can we practice Tantra without the sexual component? Absolutely. Tantra is not a sexual path. Tantra can be applied to our sexual intimacy and our happiness and how we walk in the sunshine and how we drive our car. But it is not inherently a sexual practice. The journey of Tantra is to live in this world, in intimacy, in driving our car, in work, in parenting, as whole human beings, where we are fully divine and fully physical, and that these aspects of ourselves are always interwoven and dancing together, which means that when we're at work, we are focused on what we're doing, and we always have this wonder and amazement and insight of our spiritual self. And our spiritual life is completely informed by living here, where we embrace the difficulty, the joy, and everything. And that's what it is to be fully tantric, or truly to be fully human. Now, our sexual relationships are often a gateway into the world of Tantra, especially in the West, where sexual intimacy has been so taboo and pressed underground. Not only are we millennia behind more ancient civilizations, we've actually reacted in opposite ways, really twisting our sexual experiences into something that isn't even loving, let alone tantric and expansive and healing and amazing. And of course, it's in intimacy that we experience the potential for that divine mixing. We experience it through orgasm. We experience it through love. We experience it through tenderness and openness. And some part of us wakes up and says, I think there's more possible, not only in intimacy, but maybe within me in my whole life. I mean, I know that my sex life can be different. I mean, that's how I felt. Although my sex life, according to the world, was amazing, we achieved everything that cosmopolitans said is possible in relationship. I always felt like we were just scratching the surface of something. Like it's like we were in kindergarten and there was this entire academy waiting for me to dive into. And this is true. Because as humans, we are living such a tiny portion of what's possible as a human being. You know, and even in our current time where we're concerned about artificial intelligence taking over and becoming smarter than us, again, this is only possible because we have minimized what it is to be human to such a tiny, tiny degree. The journey of Tantra is to take that and expand it back into truly our magnificent selves that we're meant to be. There are 3 paths of Tantra, and there's actually thousands of schools of Tantra. This is just one version. This is one school's understanding of the different paths of Tantra. Śāmbhavopāya, śāktopāya, and ānavapāya. Śāmbhavopāya, pāya means path. Śāmbhavopāya is the path of Tantra where you literally are walking through your life. You have an awareness. Someone says something. That teacher says something. You read a book and all of a sudden a light goes on in your head and you go, oh, and you're forever changed. This is the path of what they would call the jnani yogi, where they are seeking wisdom. I am a jnani yogi. This is why these kinds of books, my study of Tantra, my practice of Tantra changes me, because I can pick up one of these ancient texts and read it, and all of a sudden the whole world comes to stillness, and I realize something. This isn't a path for everyone, but we all have these moments of awakening, and it can be in crisis, it can be in joy, it can be all of a sudden, all the ducks are all in a row and you realize something. Your body relaxes, your nervous system relaxes, and you feel genuine happiness. This is śāmbhavopāya. And it's not the lowest level. I'm actually going in reverse order here because very often this is what we believe Tantra is. It is a path, but it doesn't happen that often. It's almost like once we are in a very subtle state of awareness, we notice things. You could just see a tree, and the way it moves, suddenly you realize something, right? But that path isn't for everybody. Now, on a practical level, if you would like to explore śāmbhavapāya, this journey of awareness in Tantra, I highly recommend this book called The Radiant Sutras. And I'm not an affiliate of this book or anything like that, but it was written by Lauren Roche, and it is a translation and interpretation of an ancient text called the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. And I had the pleasure of meeting Lauren Roche once at a retreat. He's a lovely man. He's done deep study. And this is my favorite book on Tantra. So if you ever want, and it's filled with these sutras, and you can just read a sutra and allow it to just flow over your mind. Now, every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the last 2 years, I've been teaching a live class based on an individual sutra each week on the Insight Timer app. This is free to join in if you would like to join me there. And if you would like to kind of back up, I have an entire playlist there of all the classes I've taught in the past based in this book that you can explore. And especially if you have the book and then you want to listen to the class where I go deep in and we do a deep dive into the understanding and the philosophy of each sutra. And then we do a meditation. And this is a beautiful journey to explore this tantric path of awareness. The second path I want to share with you is called śāktopāya. And it comes from the word Shakti, this manifest reality that we live within. Because in Tantra, Shiva Shakti is the oneness, and we create duality as Shiva remains consciousness and Shakti becomes this manifest world. So this is the path of Tantra where we actually grow and expand through the world around us. In the paths of yoga, one possibility would be that you are a karma yogi, that you experience God, spirituality through helping others, through helping in the community. The Radiant Sutras talks, and the book has many, many meditations and contemplations of śāktopāya, ways of seeing the world around us through our divine eyes. So on a practical level, you could explore many of my books. Tantric Intimacy. This is all about bringing Tantra into our relationships with self, with others, with intimacy, all that kind of thing. Definitely part of this world. Or the divine union of the masculine and feminine. This literally teaches us how to interact in duality with love and unity and really experiencing bliss here. I also have 2 online courses. One is called The Spiritual Path of Tantra. And again, it brings that tantric perspective into all the different aspects of our lives. And, this is the intimate part. There is also a great course called The Foundations of Tantric Intimacy that you can either do alone or with a partner, literally creating a new foundation of experiencing intimacy with another. And the third path is called ānavapāya. Now, this is a healing path because maybe it's really hard to go around and see the divine in trees and relationships and people because we have struggles inside. We have trauma that needs healing. We've had a difficult life. Maybe we have philosophies within us that limit us in a really big way. So ānavapāya, This is where we chant mantras, we meditate, we do kriyas, we gaze at yantras on the walls. These are the things that help us heal and shift our consciousness into those more subtle levels where we can experience śāktopāya or we can experience śāmbhavopāya. On a practical level, I teach Kundalini Yoga. I teach it live on Zoom on Mondays and Saturdays. And Kundalini Yoga is a tantric yoga because it is meant to transform us from the inside out. It's not focused in asana. It's focused on realigning us within and releasing all those limitations that stand in the way of seeing the world through our truly divine and infinite eyes. I have a yoga teacher training called the Living Masters, and this is based in Kundalini Yoga. And this is an 8-month journey together where we literally reframe the world with different philosophy. We do kriyas, we do meditation, and we truly heal over the long term. So the journey of Tantra really is whatever is right for you. And we all shift between many of these different levels, whether we're doing healing kriyas or meditations or chanting, or whether we're reading books and we're having new awarenesses, or we're walking down the street and breathing deeply and just connecting with the world around us. And all of these paths, do they affect our intimate lives? Sure, but they are certainly not a sexual path in any way. If you would like to know more about these programs, I have all the links below. And if you have any questions about them, please email me at katrina@katrinaboss.ca. I hope you have a wonderful day.